Have you ever had a great idea, but you say, God, how the hell am I going to make that? I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to do all that kind of stuff. Well, you don't have to know that anymore, because the help you need to do almost make anything, is there, and for next to nothing, right? You don't have to go to school for years to do it. You go to something called maker spaces. These are all around the country, and they're sort of like clubs. You join for like $100 or whatever, and you get to use all these toys, and they teach you how to use all these toys like 3D printers or routers and all these kinds of things, or engineering stuff that you have to know how to design. I mean, they show you how to do all this stuff, and you don't have to have all that expertise you thought you had to have to do anything in life. And that's why this next interview is a young man, who really had back problems. He was a young jock, and then he started getting aches and pains from sitting down, and he wanted to build a stand-up desk. And he didn't know how to do it, but he said, Johnny, you want to do that? He went to one of these places, and he was working full-time doing another thing, and then start working on his idea. So it cost him nothing to develop that idea, get the expertise he needed to take that idea down the road. And now he's using the internet to raise $30,000, $40,000 to start manufacturing it. Because the internet's giving him customers. So he's got pre-customers that, oh, hey, I want one of those. And they're throwing money at him. So he can make these things because he just has an idea and a prototype, and that's how to get things done nowadays. It's a whole new economy. You don't have to marry a millionaire to get it done. You don't have to, do all this other stuff you used to in the old economy. In the new economy, you go down the street, look on the web, get all this help for free to do something. You use their tools. Actually, the cable companies have the same kind of operation if you want to learn how to video produce, but now with the cameras you don't even need that anymore. But to learn all the skills in making something, and this is how we'll become manufacturing country again. It's learning how to use these tools in the new society, and it's just exciting times out there. All the gatekeepers you thought you had to know or pay for everything, they're not there anymore. They're out of business, and that's why the self-help and do-it-yourself and making your own products and selling them on the internet, that's the new economy. So watch how this young guy did it. Well, Lesko board. I think you're the only man with snakes in your kitchen. Not your chicken, but your kitchen. You're sitting there in your kitchen, and you invented, the snakeable USB cord that will never break, fray, burn out, do anything, and save us tons of money on getting USB cords. Why the heck did you do this? What made you think of it?
Well, I was tired of fixing cables myself. It costs money. Everything costs money. And, you get frustrated every time you spend your hard-earned money and on something that breaks. So using my my background in manufacturing, I thought to myself, there had to be a better way to do this. And that's when I came up with the idea for Snakeable.
But what's interesting, we were talking earlier, is that you really didn't know a lot technically to make one of these things, but you were able to find almost all the help you needed for a couple $100 on the internet and get it done, huh?
Yeah, well, it's the 21st century now, Matt, so we can go online, we can talk to anybody we need to. So I've sourced a couple of engineers and had, a couple of them do a couple little things to help me out here with the project to get the ball rolling on everything.
So you went one of these freelancer websites, Elance, I think is the one you used, right?
Yeah.
Found an engineer that helped think through your project and did the design and even the software to have a 3D printer, right?
Correct.
Wow. And you could stay into your kitchen and just think about snakes, right? That's wonderful, huh? And so then, besides the idea and working it out and things like that, and the time involved personally, out of pocket, it really didn't take a whole lot for you, did it?
Well, at this point, I think I probably spent close to about $8,000.
Wow, huh?
Yeah.
And what was most of that in?
Most of that was in the marketing and the advertising for the Kickstarter. To get from my frustration of broken cables to a 3D printed prototype probably cost about $2,500 to $3,000.
Okay. And what is mostly tied up in that? I mean, besides, I mean, if it was a couple $100 for the engineer, then what's the rest that is expensive for?
Yeah, so we had a couple $100 in engineer consultations.
Right.
Some 3D renderings I had to get
Ah,
made. Um, and then the 3D printing. 3D printing can be expensive. I already had a printer, so I spent probably about $100 in plastic or so. But then
mm-hmm.
when you go to industrial printing, which was the next logical step to get
I see.
a closer product, that cost a few $100. You know.
I see. So then, so the $2,500 or $3,000. I mean, that's really in getting the refining. I guess you go through reiterations of printing and figuring
Right.
out, and it's not the first pancake is good, right? You got
Right.
to
Absolutely. Yeah, it takes a lot. You gotta keep on doing it to
keep
get it
on
right.
doing it. So now you're on Kickstarter. And you got over $33,000 from your 3,000 investment. So now you could make these things, and you don't have to bring any more out of pocket, right?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe if all goes well. Yeah.
right. Yeah. So pretty much the projected amount needed to manufacture from tooling, from sampling to tooling and actual production parts. Was about $28,000 is what I initially
Right.
calculated. Unfortunately, if you look at most Kickstarter campaigns, what they initially calculate is not always the case.
I see. Well, I think that's true in life with everything.
That's
man.
true. That's true. Well, I've been working with the manufacturer for about a month now. So a couple weeks before I started Kickstarter, so
Right.
we're pretty confident we can get everything out on time for
So
at budget.
really, at this point now, for $3,000 on a product, man, you got a product that is comparable to anything I'm going to go Microland or whatever and see. I mean, these high,
Right.
you're really competing with the big boys and able to do it, for a fraction of that cost. And now, but to me, what's more important, you got 1,200 people who love this thing already.
Oh yeah, yep. That actually is probably a lot more than 1,200. Just a lot of people aren't tech savvy to where they can run on a computer and get on Kickstarter.
You got to find them yet.
Yeah, the main market I found for the Snakeable would be like professionals. They're always on the go, college students,
Yeah.
and everything. For the professional and the college student, it's cost sensitive.
Right.
So you break something, you have to replace it. So I feel a lot of my Kickstarter backers are either traveling professionals or students themselves. But it's a product that can really apply to anybody with a smartphone or tablet.
But more importantly, man, that there's a market. I mean, so you're not going
Absolutely.
to, print, 15,000 or what these things or whatever it is, make them and have them sitting in your garage for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Right. Right.
I got
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
very-
books like that, by the way.
That's not-
If you ever want how to get free tax help, I got a garage full of those things. And that's not the case anymore because you're finding money to finance for existing customers that always gave you the money for the product when you're ready. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
So now you have those people, those Kickstarter backers. They get the product, they review it, they like it,
Yeah.
then they tell their friends. It's like it's a domino effect from there. Likewise, if they get a bad product,
Right.
so the difference is someone like you or I who go on to Kickstarter or Indiegogo, crowdfund a project, it's a lot easier to have our reputations mudded than someone like a giant corporation like Apple. They make a bad product, which they have.
Yeah.
Apple has made bad products, believe it or not. But they have the gout to or the
They
clout
can
to-
recover easier. You're a
Exactly.
small guy. you don't have another $3,000. You have to come up with another one. So you're betting the farm on this one, and that's why your loss would only be $3,000, but now you're $33,000. Up to produce this, and if you're $28,000, so you have a 10% error fee available. But who knows? And really, you have a couple more weeks on the campaign, so this could be a heck of a lot more yet, right?
Yeah, we have about 10 days left. So the kind of thing that goes on with crowdfunding is the last week is usually when things spike a lot.
I see.
We caught I caught my spike early because I had attended a tech conference in New York for TechCrunch.
Oh.
So that really helped me expedite the process.
I see. Well, that's great. I mean, because you must feel more comfortable now that you got, the money in the bank and you made your
Yes.
quota. And you're going to get, this thing is going forward no matter what.
Right.
It is wonderful. And then, so you think about, you may be able to give up your daytime job someday if this keeps going.
Well, I mean, the job I do now is great. But yeah, it's the American dream to work for yourself. So yeah, I would, eventually I'd like to quit that job.
Oh, great. And it'll be you sitting in Philadelphia dreaming about snakes in your kitchen, right? Maybe they'll do a new movie. I see you used a little clip from that. Was that from in your video?
Oh, yeah.
Was that from Snakes on the Plane?
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you noticed that. I haven't heard much about that.
Oh, that's great.
Hopefully the studio doesn't notice it.
No, don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Now, if they sue you, you'll get $1 million of publicity for snakes.
Exactly.
Snakeable, right? So call them and tell them it's there so they sue you. Okay? You could use the publicity. Well, thank you so much, Wes. Good to have you. Good to know that you're sitting there in Philly dreaming up good stuff for the rest of us. And to get this, to be the first on your block to get the snakeable. And man, this is a neat thing, and you got to at least see the video on your site, right? Because then you'll see what this is all about. It's snakeable.com, SNAKABLE.com.
Yes.
And don't be throwing away all those cords all the time. Get one forever. It's a snakeable.
There you go.
Thank you, Wes. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Matthew. Take care.